Hello, it is 6 p.m. in Tokyo. It's 9 a.m. in Abidjan and Ivory Coast. I'm Monita Rajpal.
And I'm Zain. Verjee. You're watching World One live from London.
Officials in Japan say the Fukushima nuclear plant has released far more radiation than they thought until now, and they've been underestimating the seriousness of the problem all along. A few hours ago, they stepped up their rating of the crisis to grade 7. That's the most severe level on the nuclear industry's international scale. Until now, they were calling it level 5. The only previous incident rated as serious as this was the Chernobyl disaster in Ukraine in 1986. Rating is provisional. A chief Japanese nuclear spokesman says the final level won't be set until the disaster is over. We want to bring in CNN's Kyung La, who's joining us now live from Tokyo. Kyung, so what changed?
Well, what changed, according to the Japan's government, is that they finally were able to secure reliable monitoring data. That's the official line.
I'm wondering what the Japanese public is making of all of this, especially those who've had to evacuate, this ever-widening evacuation zone that the government keeps putting in place, but of course the wider country as a whole, how they're reacting to how TEPCO and the government is handling all of this. If they're saying that they're putting public safety first now, a month after the disaster happened, what are the Japanese saying about what the government is doing?
Well, it really depends on how personally affected people are. If you speak to someone in Tokyo, they'll say, okay, we still have to give the government time. It's only been a month.
Kyung La in Tokyo, thank you. Take a look at these images taken near Fukushima. Scenes of desolation, homes abandoned, and the rush to leave. Well, later this hour, we'll give you a rare look at the wasteland. President of Ivory Coast, Alassane Ouattara, has called for calm after Laurent Gbagbo was arrested on Monday. The former president was captured after months of civil war. Ivory Coast officials say troops loyal to President Ouattara forced their way into Gbagbo's residence. Tornadoes have caused major damage across the Midwestern United States. New video is coming in of the damage left behind. Let's go to our meteorologist, Jennifer Delgado, at the World Weather Center with details on that. Hey, Jen.
Hi, Monita. You're right. We have some new video coming in. Anything severe, just your rather springtime storms coming through parts of Europe. A little bit cool.
Yeah, I guess to be expected.
Yeah, you've been spoiled over the last couple of days.
A little bit. I think that was our summer.
Not enough. Actually,
I'll give you a little bit
London
more.
summer.
Just be patient.
We have good weather to look forward to next year. Thanks.
Right, take care.
This is World One live from London.
Yeah, an out-of-control hamburger.
What?
I know. It may not sound like the inspiration. Look at some of the other stories that we're talking about here on World One. You might think that $50 million a year sounds like a pretty good pay package. Zain, I don't know about you, you probably want more, but apparently some CEOs might not get out of bed for that. Viacom's boss, for example, last year, Philippe Domen, took home a cool $84.5 million worth of money, shares and stock options, which must have left Oracle's Larry Ellison feeling a little hard done by. He had to just scrape by on a paltry $70 million. Whatever. Well, the First Lady of the United States has joined forces with the First Lady of Pop. Beyoncé is adding her voice to Michelle Obama's campaign to fight childhood obesity. The Grammy Award-winning star hopes to get young fans moving with the release of her Let's Move Flash workout. She's also showing children how glamorous, healthy eating can look by dancing around while eating an apple. And it could be the end of the legal line for two Harvard twins on their battle against Facebook. A federal judge struck down their attempt to undo the $65 million settlement that they received after claiming founder Mark Zuckerberg stole their idea. In their latest battle, the twins say Facebook was incorrectly valued in that settlement and that they should have received more stock. All this year, CNN is focusing on its fight against modern-day slavery. We are focusing on a multi-billion-dollar trade that's normally hidden behind closed doors. Throughout the Freedom Project, we'll introduce you to people who've made ending slavery their mission and their passion, and we'll show you the technology that's being used to help the fight. Now, human trafficking is a criminal enterprise worth more than $32 billion. The number of slaves in the world today is estimated anywhere between 10 million and 30 million. 600 to 800,000 people are trafficked across borders every year. Of those, more than 70% are female, and half of those forced into slavery across borders are children. Well, CNN's Christy Lou Stout takes a closer look at one aspect of a worldwide problem. Wednesday evening, only 4 football clubs will be left with a chance of winning Europe's top club competition. Don Riddell here now with all the details of this week's matches. Don.
Hello, Monita. Thanks very much. Manchester United versus Chelsea at Old Trafford tonight. A 4-goal lead. And just before I go, Monita, I just want to let you know that Richard Branson, who you know runs an airline, Verjee, and a Formula One team, will be a stewardess on an Air Asia flight on
Flight attendant Branson.
Flight attendant. It's because his Formula One team lost to Tony Fernandez, Formula One team who runs Air Asia. He also has Lotus. Lotus beat Virgin last season. He'll be serving the drinks on May the 1st.
Wouldn't you want to be on that flight?
I think so.
I'd like a cup of tea, Branson. You know.
A stewardess or a steward?
A stewardess.
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 That's far more interesting.
Today marks a milestone in space travel. 50 years ago, a major in the Soviet Air Force strapped himself into a capsule on top of a Vostok rocket and made history. Matthew Chance tells us how it all happened.
It was perhaps the greatest journey one man has ever taken. Propelled 50 years ago into space on a Soviet rocket, Yuri Gagarin made the first ever orbit of the Earth.
You're watching World One live from London. I'm Zain Verjee.
I'm Monita Rajpal. Thank you for joining us. We want to give you a look at another takeoff. This one, the shuttle Atlantis, which is soon retiring from service.
Take a look at these pictures. They're from its mission in May 2010. This is World One on CNN.
Course for a 51.6 degree, 136 by 36